What traumas have you taken away from growing up on the estate?
Oh, mate. The estate. Um,
The estate of
yeah,
mind.
state. Oh man. So obviously I didn't live on the block, but I was around it. Uh, not just one block, a few blocks. So growing up when I was younger, drugs was a thing. So my primary experience between 0 and 4 was, I won't go into too much detail about that, but it was traumatizing to the point where I become hypervigilant. Um, and being hypervigilant means you can hyperreact. So, for instance, before someone becomes a threat, you attack, which one of my family members does a lot. So, being protective in a certain way to the point where it's not always reasonable, as well. Um, I I would say I'm in a constant state of anxiety. Not so much now, but there was a period up to a couple years ago where, and I still, if I put myself in certain environments, like if I go to a party, anxiety kicks in because I've got to scan the thing. I think people will talk about it where you got to know where the exit is. I will scan the room back against the wall, all those kind of things, see who's in the room. Just how you navigate, like, even for me, certain areas, although things have died down, still got to be wary. Do you know what I mean? How you view your own versus how you view others. For instance, like, because we're all being put in these areas to ultimately self-destruct, you will fear your own people more than others, although the others are creating those conditions. Do you get what I'm saying? Which I think is a trauma that I used to have. Like, I would more look at melanated people like as a threat than the white man or Asian guys. Do you know what I mean? So that was a trauma that I had to unpack for myself. I had to unpack my relationships in terms of with women and how I related to women and the derogatory terms we used and how we saw them. You know what I mean? That was a trauma. Had to unpack that. This kind of mindset around wealth and all these things. The lack of belief. I mean, I didn't have that, but mine was more unworthiness. And then just when we get to violence, man, obviously you used to see, I remember there was a guy who was chucked off the block, and I think it was me and Fash actually that was together, and we saw the guy twist up. I think he got thrown off the block. Another guy was going mad. He jumped off a block. That was All Saints. And he was throwing glass at his moving like white guy, and he somehow survived as well, so he didn't die. Shootings, obviously, personally being stabbed. Just chaos, bro. Like, and what was crazy about all of that was we weren't scared.
Bro, it's where I'm going. It's where I'm gonna go.
Like,
It's where I'm gonna go.
I was like, bro, I was telling guys like live, like, bust your ting, not realizing when they did that the bang was gonna be very loud, and if I get shot, it's gonna burn. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, bust your ting. But the main, I just see it as theatrics, bro. I just see it as like, it was, people playing characters. I always say, like, I was more afraid in a group than I was alone. Because in a group, I didn't know what anyone else could do. I didn't know what anyone else was capable of. And so I wouldn't want to engage in no kind of fights with a group, because like I had one situation where someone did something mad and I didn't even know, but we were, and the guy nearly hurt himself bad. The guy that we hurt, and I was like, "Right, why did my man do that? Like, we could have fought this guy. Why did he have to hit them with this and that?" So, but when I'm alone, I know I can either fight or I can run, and I know how to escape. Do you get what I'm saying? But a lot of these situations, bro, there was times where man were pulling up on us, backing out shotties. I'm like, bust your thing. Like, I don't give a but trauma. Again, like trauma. Like, and also, if you're in a crowd, it makes it worse, because when you're in crowds, you feel even more boosted. And you're like, right, these man got my back. But I tell you now, there's been lots of times when they ain't got your back. You're looking around, I was like, shit, there's no one here, man. So it can go wrong if not everyone's on it like that. But yeah, I think we glorify, we get comfortable, and we celebrate this trauma of violence and self-destruction and sexualization and making money and, you know, serving the queen or the king. Do you know what I mean? It's all spiritual warfare as well. Like, in all of this is wrapped up in spirit. So yeah, for me, I think I hope I outlined that.
Beautifully, bro. Bro, I was gonna say, it's so wrong because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, within all the chaos and madness and life-threatening experiences, I can't lie to you, bro, I enjoyed every minute of it.
Bro, as a youth,
I got a rush, bro.
It was
I didn't know it back then,
adrenaline.
bro.
You're like, bro, that was like,
I thought about it today. I only realized this today. It was exciting.
I'll tell you what it is though. I can kind of tell you why it was exciting. Survival. When we go into survival mode, that's the learning. That's the kind of excitement. Like, raw, I'm alive because I'm surviving something. It's like what you do in the thing, innit? And then but you're meant to grow from it. Do you know?
What's interesting is, just like you, I didn't live there. I actually lived around the corner. So if I walked like 3 minutes up the road, bust the left, I'm on the estate. But I wasn't on the estate. So I've been held up with a strap 3 times. So once in Heim Hill, once on the estate, and maybe once or twice by police. Trident. And
It's mad that you've got equal amount of Trident.
yeah. Like, obviously, in hindsight, what an absolute train wreck. Like, you get what I mean? It was horrible. Like, this ain't fun, but it became normal.
And it wasn't like, it's not that excuse of like, oh, there was nothing to do. There was stuff to do.
No,
Like,
there was stuff to do, but do you know what? I think school and college and stuff does a great job of robbing you of vision and dreaming and creativity. Don't get me wrong, like, you know, we had our space of creativity regarding, you know, MCing and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was still very much street orientated, if that makes sense. But there was that, and it's interesting how I've come. Hoodies, bro. I used to, even now, rocking hoodies. In my mind, it would like hide me. Where it hides you, it makes you stand out also. So hoodies are definitely something I still rock to this day. Like, that is from there. Ski masks, like, you know, don't get me wrong, COVID gave me the green light and said, be one of them. I'm like, I've been waiting for this shit. That is not wanting to be seen, but still being obvious. That is me kind of being shy, in a sense. As much as being outside is like a show thing, as in you can be seen, I don't really want to be seen, if that makes sense. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a bit strange, but as you said, survival, just being outside, hanging around your circle or your square, whatever. It's always life or death.
Can change
Instantly.
You gotta be.
Like, you knew that there was individuals that wanted him dead, And even though you're not him and he's
you're
your
getting-
boy, if you're found with him, you're gonna catch one, or you might. But it's like that didn't stop you from going outside. You get what I mean? Like
That's the
it
madness of
didn't
it, bro.
stop you from going
We knew
outside.
they were coming. Remember, certain time we knew they were coming, and you're waiting. Let them come.
I'll never forget this time when like someone who I knew got a call and they were basically told, tell him, stay off the roads. And it wasn't like, it wasn't a thing of where, I was involved, but because they knew that was where I hung out, they also knew that someone is going to catch something for what's just happened. And, fear and paranoia heightened.
Yeah.
So now this time, I'm treating outside if like it's Call of Duty,
Yeah.
ducking behind cars when cars are just driving past
No,
normal.
no,
Like,
especially when it comes at a certain speed,
Ah,
it's
bro.
coming slow.
it didn't even have to be a certain speed,
Or
bro. I'm like, and
you
I'm
stay in line
thinking,
with the car, like,
I'm thinking that's normal. But bear in mind, right? My thing wasn't the same as others because times when I would be going out, I'm going to work,
Yeah.
not on the roads. I didn't shot, I didn't shoot, I didn't stab. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, this is what I mean when it's like being on the roads without being on the roads
Same.
doing shit.
I had
I
to
weren't
be aware
doing
though.
stuff, but at the same time,
Yeah.
when you live there or when you are, out and about there, you are involved.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? You just don't understand like how this thing works